Next, we're going to do Porter's Five Forces for Deluxe for ENT 610 Spring 2023. And there are some similarities with all of these methods. Porter's Five Forces, this framework, this method of analysis, is basically to analyze the operating environment of a competition of a business. It draws from industrial organizations, economics, to derive five forces that determine the competitive intensity and therefore the attractiveness of the industry, excuse me, and the profitability of that business. An unattractive industry is one that where these five forces will reduce profitability. The most unattractive industries would be ones approaching pure competition in which the availability of profits for all firms are driven to normal profit levels. Michael E. Porter was, I believe, from Harvard University, and he first published this framework in the Harvard Business Review somewhere in the late 70s, early 80s. These forces are within the microenvironment, the microeconomic environment, I would say, and contrast more with general terms of the macroeconomic environment. And for Deluxe, the first one we're going to talk about is bargaining power of suppliers. The bargaining power of suppliers in the supplement industry is moderate. Raw materials used in supplements, such as the ones Deluxe sells, vitamins and minerals, are widely available, which can reduce the supplier power. However, some specialized ingredients may have limited availability, which can increase supplier power and impact prices. And I think at Deluxe, we sit somewhere in the middle. We are subject to availability. We are subject to suppliers. Some of these ingredients you can term as exotic, and therefore there is some bargaining power on the side of the supplier. The next five forces, bargaining power of buyers or customers. The bargaining power of the buyers in the supplement industry is high, very high. Consumers have access to a wide range of supplements from multiple brands, which give them the power to choose based on price, quality, and other factors. And there is low switching cost, also increased buyer power. So the low switching costs increase buyer power, which is since you can go on Amazon and basically buy any supplement for less. And that's why I said in one of my other slides at the SWOT analysis, if you were going to go into a business, it probably should not be the supplement business. Even though the margins are high, the competition is extremely fierce, and Amazon dominates a marketplace where you can pretty much go on Amazon and buy any product for a little bit less. Where you try to differentiate yourself is in the quality of the products, your brand, and the fact that you offer something that's a little bit more upscale. But that is a very, very difficult proposition. The next force is threat from new entrants. And again, I talked about this earlier in SWOT. The supplement industry has a relatively low barrier to entry, which makes it easy for new competition and competitors to enter the marketplace. However, establishing brand recognition and gaining consumer trust can be challenging, which can limit the threat of new entrants. And again, I think Deluxe sits right in the middle here. We are a nurse-operated business, so we have the consumer trust, but at the same time, as I've talked about, you can pretty much start a supplement business in a little under 96 hours. So that barrier of entry of being so low means that only the best will survive. When I think of the premium supplement brands, I think of Thorne. I think of a couple of other ones that are a little more discounted, but Thorne is probably one of the best. But again, they are constantly getting threats. And I think the real value is developing your own proprietary supplement. I think when you develop a proprietary supplement, I think that you can leverage that a little bit more than, say, being one of 1,000 people that sell ashwagandha. Threats from substitute products or threats of substitute products. The threat of substitutes in the supplement industry is moderate. While there are alternative approaches to achieving health and wellness, such as diet and exercise, which really are the go-to standards, diet, exercise, and sleep, with moderation of stress, supplements provide a convenient and targeted way to support specific health needs. However, the availability of substitutes can limit the demand. So I think this is sort of spot on where, again, we sort of sit right in the middle here. There are a lot of ways to skin a cat, and there are a lot of ways to get healthy. What I do like about supplements is you can target specific things that you're deficient in. What I always tell my customers or fellow business people is that take a list of everything a supplement said it does. So if it says it cures 10 things from dementia down to HIV, you cut that list in half and cut that list in half again, and about 25% of those things may be true. But with targeted supplements, one thing that Deluxe tries to do is we provide a ton of scientific research and data that kind of provides validity to the supplements we sell. Supplements are tough because you don't get an overnight change. These things need to be taken for duration, sometimes cyclical, like a 30, 60, 90 day, and sometimes they need to be taken for months. So the threat of substitute products, I think we're right in the middle here. Some of these gold standards like mushrooms, chaga, ashwagandha, reishi, lion's mane, these things have been around for hundreds of years. So the threat of substitutes, as far as they're concerned, is somewhat limited. Competitive rivalry. The intensity of competitive rivalry in the supplement industry is high. The market is crowded with multiple brands offering similar products, which can lead to price competition and reduced profit margins. Establishing brands with strong recognition has an advantage, but new and innovative companies can disrupt the model. Again, I will reiterate this. If I was going into the business, I probably wouldn't go into the supplement business. The margins are high, but you also, we shoot for 70% margins, but we often have to reduce those down into the 20% range to be competitive with pricing. It's kind of like you want your supplement brand to be the Lexus or the Mercedes or the Audi, and not the Buick. I don't think Buick's probably not a good example anymore. But you want to be sort of the gold standard of that, and therefore you can build in a little price appreciation. But without the brand, without establishing the brand identity, and without establishing brand trust, and without establishing why people would pay extra, like people, I mentioned Thorne, people would pay a little extra for Thorne because they trust the brand. The trust in the brand is probably the best way to stifle competitive rivalry, but that said, that marketplace can be disrupted very quickly. Again, this is the analysis of Porter's 5 forces for Deluxe.